Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to see how to write the domain and range of the given function. Let's get started. Domain and range of the function. Let's see first example here. F of x is given by 2 to the power x minus 1. Find the domain and range of the function. This function will be written as y is equal to 2 to the power x minus 1. To give the answer for the domain and range, the best way is to draw the graph. When you plot the graph, it is much easier for you to give you the domain and range. What is domain and range? Domain is your x values and range is your y values. We will try to plot our graph 2 to the power x minus 1. To plot it, I need the coordinates which cuts on the x-axis and cuts on the y-axis. To get the point which cuts on the y-axis, we have to put x is equal to 0. If we put x is equal to 0 in our function, the value of y will be given by 2 to the power 0 minus 1. Anything raised to the power 0 is 1. We know that. That will be equal to 1 minus 1, which is 0. The point on the y-axis is 0, 0. That means it passes through the origin. If I want to check with x to the power minus infinity, my answer will be equal to y is equal to 2 to the power minus infinity minus 1. Anything raised to the power minus infinity is 0. That will be 0 minus 1 is minus 1. My value of this is minus infinity minus 1. If I check with x is equal to 1, I'll substitute the value x is equal to 1 in my function 2 to the power 1 minus 1 is equal to 2 minus 1, which is 1. So the point is 1, 1. Let's plot all the points as you can see from here. This is my x-axis, this is my y-axis. My curve passes through the origin here. Next point is minus infinity minus 1. This is my minus 1 here and my graph touches at minus 1 when the answer for x is minus infinity. My graph also passes from 1, 1. So this is 1, this is 1 y-axis. So the point is here. If I join it, my graph will go like this. If you have now the graph in front of us, what is the domain for this graph? The domain for this graph is from minus infinity to infinity. That means all the real numbers is the domain for this question. Let's write on the answer here. Domain will be given by x belongs to all real numbers. Or you can say that x belongs to minus infinity to infinity. That will be your domain. We have to check for our range. As I told you earlier, range are the y values. So the y values starts from minus 1. There are no values below minus 1. All the values are above minus 1. So my range value will be given as y. Y is greater than or equal to minus 1. That is my range. Or you can write down f of x is greater than or equal to minus 1, or if you want to write down y belongs to minus 1 to infinity. I put the minus 1 in the bigger bracket because this point is included. Infinity is not included, so I put it in a small bracket. The point which is included, you have to put it in a big bracket. That's how we can find out the domain and range of this function. Let's see one more example. This is the function I have in front of me. G of x is equal to x bracket x plus 1. If I open my function, I will write down as x square plus x. You know that this is a quadratic curve because our basic quadratic curve is given by ax square plus bx plus c form. If I compare this curve with my original equation, the value for a is 1, the value for b is 1, the value for c is 0. Let's write down all the values here. A is 1, b is 1 and c is 0. To plot this graph, I need 3 points. First, I need the minimum point. Second, at what point the graph cuts on the x-axis and at what point the graph touches on the y-axis. Let's first find out the minimum point here. We have learned that to get the minimum point of the x coordinate, we can substitute x is equal to minus b over 2a. Let's substitute the values for b and a. B is 1, a is 1. Let's substitute the value here. That will be given by minus 1 over 2 bracket 1, which is equals to minus half. The minimum point of the x coordinate is minus half. To get the y coordinate, I need to substitute this point in my original curve. Let's substitute the value here. I will get minus half the whole square plus of minus half. Let's do it here. Minus 1 by 2 the whole square is 1 by 4 minus of 1 by 2. If I make the denominator same, I will write down as 2 over 4. If I take the LCM here, it will be 1 minus 2. My answer will be minus 1 by 4. My minimum point occurs at minus half and minus 1 by 4. I need to find out where it cuts the x-axis and y-axis. To find where the graph cuts the x-axis, I have to put y is equal to 0. I have substituted here 0 is equal to x into x plus 1. To get the answers for x, if the two brackets individually are equal to 0, then x is also 0 and x plus 1 is equal to 0. Let's substitute the value here. I'll get x is equal to 0 and I'll get x plus 1 is equal to 0, which will give me x is equal to minus 1. These two values are my points where the graph cuts the x-axis. Now to check that the graph cuts the y-axis, you have to put x is equal to 0. This is my curve. If I put x is equal to 0, I'll get y is equal to 0 bracket 0 plus 1. My answer is 0. We have minimum point minus half minus 1 by 4. It passes through the origin 0, 0. Here also I am getting 0, 0. And my other point is minus 1, 0. Let's write down here minus 1, 0. We will plot our graph. As you can see here, I have plotted the graph for you. The minimum point is, this is minus half. Minus half minus 1 by 4 is my minimum point. The graph touches at minus 1, 0 and it is touches at 0, 0. If you plot, your graph will be like this. Now you have to give the domain and range of this function. What will be the domain? Domain will be the x values. As you can see from here, the x values goes from minus infinity to infinity. Let's write on the answer here. The domain is x values belongs to the real numbers, or you can say that x belongs to minus infinity to infinity. That will be my domain. I need to write down my range. As you can see that the graph doesn't exist below minus 1 by 4. All the values are greater than minus 1 by 4. So the range of this function will be given by y belongs to minus 1 by 4 to infinity, or you can write down y is greater than or equal to minus 1 by 4. That will be the domain and range of your function. Let's see one more example. This is the function you have in front of us. F of x is equal to 2 plus root of x minus 3, or you can say that y is equal to 2 plus root of x minus 3. To get the domain and range of the function, for the domain the rule is that if the square root is in the numerator, the function inside the root should be greater than or equal to 0. That means x minus 3 should be greater than or equal to 0. What is the value for x? Getting it from here, x will be, move this minus 3 on other side, x will be greater than or equal to 3. The values x will take is all greater than or equal to 3. Let's substitute x is equal to 3 in our function. We will get y is equal to 2 plus root of 3 minus 3. If you solve it, that will be equal to 2 plus root 0, which is equals to 2 only. The graph passes through the point 3, 2. Let's substitute the value x is equal to 4 in our function. I will get 2 plus root of 4 minus 3, which is equals to 2 plus root of 1, which is 1. So that will be equal to 2 plus 1, that is equals to 3. My curve passes through the point 4, 3. Let's plot the graph. As you can see from here, all the values are greater than 3. My points are x is equal to 3, y is equal to 2, x is equal to 4, y is equal to 3, and I joined it and I make the graph like this. Now it is easy for me to give the domain and the range. What will be my domain? My domain are all the values greater than 3. Let's write down the answer here. The domain x is greater than or equal to 3. Or you can write down x belongs to capital bracket 3 to infinity, because the 3 is included in x. Let's write down the range here. You can see from here the range starts from 2 and all the values above that. Let's write down the answer here. Y is greater than or equal to 2, or you can say that y belongs to 2 to infinity. This is how you can give the answers for domain and range. We will see more questions based on domain and range in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment down below. Bye bye everyone.